What's up, you guys? Today I'm going to do a Q&A because I haven't done one in a really long time, so I went ahead and asked on my Instagram stories for you guys to ask me some questions. So I'm kind of going to be answering a little bit of everything today, some fitness related stuff, some personal, some pregnancy. So yeah, I picked like the top 10 questions that I kept receiving, so we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you who are new here, my name is Shay. I am 22 years old. I'll be 23 in June. I am 8 months pregnant right now, so I'm gonna be a mom soon, which is absolutely crazy. And yeah, I'm really passionate about helping others, about health and fitness, and I share my fitness journey on here and just pretty much a little bit of everything with you guys. Yeah, baby boy is kicking up a storm right now. I am on my yoga ball, so if you see me like moving around and doing this whole thing, I apologize if it's distracting, but this is the only way I can sit comfortably right now, so bear with me. In the final stretch, but we're gonna get started with these questions. So I'm just gonna go in order. Let's see. The first one just happens to be pregnancy related. So this girl asked, I'm hoping to get pregnant in the next year for the first time and I'm super terrified. What is it like? So if you have been following me for a while, then you know that this is actually my second pregnancy. I got pregnant last year, or actually at the end of 2018, and I ended up having an early miscarriage in January, at the end of January of last year. So that was really rough for me. I have my whole story on that. If you want to go watch that video, I'll link it down below. But as far as like, you definitely should not be terrified. I think that the reason why this pregnancy has been pretty smooth for me is because I'm doing the complete opposite of what I did the first time. The first time I was scared of every little thing, Googling every little thing. Is it okay to breathe? Like, is it okay to drink water? Like, I was super paranoid, super scared of every little thing. This time, my faith is a lot stronger. I have a lot more of a close relationship with God, with Jesus, and that's something I kind of talk about on my Instagram. I want to do a testimony video soon. I feel like that's been the biggest thing that has helped me. I've just like been chill this pregnancy, to be honest. Like, I'm not letting little things like freak me out the way I did the first time, and I've just been trying to enjoy it and just be grateful for being pregnant, and I feel like that helped me at the beginning stages especially. As far as what is it like goes, I mean, I know it's different for everybody. For me, fortunately, I've had a fairly easy pregnancy. Of course, there's been some very difficult moments with the first trimester and the nausea and the throwing up. I don't know how to explain what it's like. It's crazy. It's a very crazy experience. It's surreal. I'm super grateful, and feeling your baby move especially is like the most insane yet beautiful feeling ever. So I don't know, maybe I'll go in depth in another video with this. I don't want to bombard you guys with just pregnancy stuff. That's why I kind of don't really post too much about it. But if you go on my Instagram, I'm constantly talking about, like, I'm just constantly updating you guys. So if you want to see more of that, you know, that's where you can go, like my stories and stuff on Instagram. So moving on, this girl asked, what was your biggest challenge about starting your fitness journey? So if you watched my previous video about how I gained weight, I would say my biggest struggle when I was first starting was I was just very, very insecure. I felt like a 12-year-old boy. I was very insecure with like how I looked, but I also did not know what to do in the gym. So I would go in the gym and just do the same thing over and over and over again, lat pull downs and cardio, because I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I felt like everyone was staring at me. I actually did technically 2 videos on this. I did one over gym intimidation and then my entire fitness journey up to this point. So I will link those videos down below so that you guys can watch in depth, you know, how I overcame those challenges. Alondra asked, how often should you change up your workout routine and go up on weights? I'm sure many of you have heard that in order to shock your muscles, you need to change and switch up your routine, switch up your exercises. You do not need to do that. Your muscles only know how hard they have to work. For example, if you care about having the biggest butt possible, the only exercise I would say you really need is hip thrust. That's the exercise that you're going to be able to lift the most amount of weight with the most amount of reps. Yeah, if you're someone that gets bored easily with your training and you don't like doing the same exercises over and over again, I get it, but if you care about results more than anything, then doing squats all the time, doing hip thrusts all the time, and just focusing on getting stronger and a variety of set and rep ranges and having enough frequency and volume, that's gonna be how you're going to build muscle and see results. So you're not gonna get a huge butt by doing 10 different glute exercises in one workout, but you're using like the same weight over and over again, if that makes sense. As far as how often you should increase your weight on your list, it just depends. For me personally, I have like one more high volume day and then one heavier day. And so I'll do a variety of set rep ranges, and each week I try to go up in either my weights by 5 to 10 pounds or the sets and reps with the same weight that I was using before. I love this question. M asked, brick and mortar aesthetics across the country, girl gyms, future empire. Oh my gosh, you guys, I wanted to talk about this for so long. It's not like in the works or anything. I haven't started really planning anything, but that's a huge dream of mine, is to have a all-female gym, at least here in my hometown, San Antonio, but eventually I would love to have multiple across the country. It's really cool for me with my job because although I don't have a physical gym where I'm physically getting to interact with a bunch of girls, you know, I train and coach girls from all over the world. So it's really cool to have that connection and to be able to talk with people of different cultures, different backgrounds, different lifestyles, and just kind of get to know all these girls. So I would for sure absolutely love to eventually open up a gym where even if it's just here in San Antonio, I can work with a bunch of different girls in person, hold seminars, fly girls out that are doing my challenges and stuff. Like, that is a huge dream of mine. I'm getting so excited talking about it. Yeah, I would love to have a in-person type of community where I can have girls come, we can all train together, we can have like deadlift parties and just film and just do a lot of fun stuff like that and hold fun events. So that is a huge goal of mine that I eventually would like to work in. Obviously, it takes a lot of time and money to invest in things like that. So if you are someone that does my challenges and you support me, you buy my programs, you let me work with you, like, I really appreciate it, because that's all contributing to helping me accomplish that future girl gym. Girl asked, how do you stay positive? I mean, I think it's only fair to say that I'm human. You know, I'm not perfect, and there are days and time periods where I'm in a slump, I'm in a funk, and I am down. I recently actually went through that this past couple weeks or so, where I just felt really down. Not like, you know, things are like wrong necessarily. It's just, I don't know, you know, sometimes we go through things and life can be difficult, and so I completely get it. I think it's fair to say that everyone goes through hard times and no one's life is perfect, despite what it might seem like on the internet. And it can be easy to look around and compare yourself and your life to other people and feel like, oh my gosh, they must have it so nice and whatever. But again, everyone's social media is their highlight reel, mine included. I don't, you know, y'all don't see me when I'm like crying my face off because something went wrong, or y'all don't see me when I'm struggling with whatever it may be. I do talk about those things after the fact, but you don't see it, you know, in that moment. And so when I am in those situations, what helps me stay positive personally is praying. I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe he came and died for our sins, and I hold on to that, and that is what keeps me sane, and what keeps me going is trusting in him and his word and reading his word. Things that do help me stay positive, that are actual things, is just focusing on what I am grateful for. If I'm having a moment that's like a bad day, whatever it may be, if I'm going through something, I try to just breathe and sit down and write, or just think about at least 5 things that I'm grateful for, whether it be like the things that we often take for granted, like having a roof over my head, having a bed to sleep, having my husband, having our cats that are so sweet and so cute. Just the little things that we often take for granted. I try to remind myself that, okay, these problems that I feel like are the end of the world right now are not real problems. Someone out there wishes that this was their problem, you know? There's more important things in the world going on, more devastating things going on in the world. So I just try to take a step back when I'm feeling down and remind myself that there's just way too much to be grateful for, to be feeling down or stressed out over the smallest things, you know? Even if they might seem big, like, I know that that hard moment in time is going to pass. So that's what helps me ultimately stay positive. What helps you the most to stay focused and keep working out? This is my biggest struggle. In terms of staying focused, like for me, it's just having my goals constantly in mind. And you know, I'm not motivated or focused necessarily every single day, but like I mentioned in my last video, I've gotten to the point where I learned not to rely on my emotions when it comes to taking action. So, you know, if we're never gonna wake up motivated or focused every single day, like, that's just not gonna happen. Okay, we're human, And sometimes life, you know, you just don't want to do anything, or you don't want to take action even though you know that you should. Or sometimes you just have doubts or fear that get in the way. And so for me, it came down to discipline. Even on the days that I don't want to do it, even on the days that I don't feel focused or motivated, I do it anyways, and I always feel so much better after I do. That's been what helps me the most, is just reminding myself of why I'm doing something in the first place. Yeah, I might not want to do it, but I'm going to feel a lot better if I do. And the results and everything is going to come a lot faster if I do. Chanel asks, what supplements do you use or recommend to aid in gaining muscle and recovery? Another thing I stress all the time, supplements are not a necessity at all whatsoever. I feel like a lot of girls, when they message me on Instagram or message me or email me, the first thing that they ask oftentimes is, what should I take for this? What should I take for that? And it's unfortunate, we do live in a society where, you know, you see commercials like, I don't know, fat burners and all this stuff, and people think that those supplements are going to be the cause for their results alone, and they're just not. Supplements are there to aid, like she said. She asked a very smart question. She said, what supplements are going to aid in gaining muscle and recovery? But ultimately, your training and your nutrition are going to be responsible for the results that you make. For me personally, the supplements that I would take before I was pregnant, protein shake post-workout, just because it's a lot more convenient than cooking a meal right away. I would take creatine occasionally, the occasional pre-workout if I needed it. But mostly for me, I would just take my vitamins, like my multivitamin, fish oil, things like that. I try not to overcomplicate the supplements. I never took really any fat burners or just a bunch of stuff like that, because it's just not necessary, you know? I don't want to be spending money on things like that when I can be using that to buy, you know, grass-fed steak or more expensive groceries. Laura asked, what workouts can I do? I am only 18 weeks pregnant. So yeah, I know you guys see me training and squatting and doing all that stuff while pregnant still. Not everyone can or should do that though. It all depends on what you were doing prior to pregnancy. So for me, you guys know I was lifting heavy and lifting very intense before I was pregnant. So once I got pregnant, my doctor gave me the okay to continue doing what I was doing before. Obviously just overall with less intensity and less weight. I would say to you, it just depends on what you were doing prior to pregnancy and what your doctor says. So check with him or her and see what they say. For me, I'm just listening to my body and listening to my doctor and doing what feels comfortable. I'm not lifting nearly as heavy as I was prior to pregnancy, but it does help me to be able to do the movements and the training split similarly to how I was before I was pregnant, so that once I give birth, it doesn't feel like I'm completely starting over. Melissa asked if I feel insecure about my body changing, I'm assuming, you know, while pregnant. Overall, no. But I definitely have my moments. Like, there are times when I look in the mirror and I forget that, like, there's a whole belly here now, you know? So it does kind of take me back sometimes to see myself like this, because I've been used to having, with my fitness journey, like such a small waist and big legs and big glutes. And overall, I am really grateful, because I'm 8 months pregnant and I've only gained 13 pounds. I feel like I'm all belly. Like, I haven't really lost too much muscle. Of course, I've lost a little bit and I've gained a little bit of fat, you know, but I feel like because I've been staying active and eating healthier and stuff, it's been helping me mentally to see myself with like a belly, and especially just reminding myself that, like, ultimately I'm not just, you know, packing on the pounds for no reason. I am growing a human being. Like, there's a whole baby in here right now that's growing, and that's my body is giving life to this life. So I'm just trying to be focusing on that and be really grateful for that, because I know that this time, you know, of course it's a fire truck. Anyways, because I know that this time period is only temporary, I'm not going to be pregnant forever. It feels like I've been pregnant for freaking ever, but ultimately I know in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to look back and feel like it flew by. So yeah, I'm just trying to enjoy this time, soak up this time before my son is here. And, you know, once he's here, I'll have plenty of time to focus on my body and everything like that. Alright, so Britt asked how to figure out your macros and calories for a lean bulk. So this is going to be, again, just completely dependent on the individual. Things like your height, your weight, what type of training you're going to be doing, your daily activity level, like outside of training, are you sedentary? Just a bunch of things play a role. So it's just For me personally, when it came time to start tracking my macros and stuff, I started out with like a baseline that I found on the internet, and I just adjusted things based off of my needs personally. I would see my body changing or pay attention to how I feel or how I felt, and I would adjust things accordingly. So with my challenge girls, it's different because I can actually be working with them one-on-one. I can see how their body's changing and they can talk to me, and I provide this like for them. But it honestly just depends on the individual. And then the last question, will you be sharing your postpartum journey with us? Yeah, of course. You know, those first couple of weeks after I give birth, of course, I'm gonna be just focused on my baby, my son, like this life that's half of me and half of my husband, that I'm just so excited about. So I don't think those first couple of weeks I'm gonna be like heavily on social media by any means. I don't know, maybe I'll fill up for it. But for sure, once I'm, you know, ready and all of that, I will definitely be documenting everything, the whole process, my training, the recovery, you know, everywhere. And I'll definitely be very transparent with you guys, I'll say that. Yeah, that is it for this video in terms of the questions and stuff. I didn't want to answer too many because I did answer quite a bit like on my Instagram specifically. I do those Q&As over there maybe once every couple of weeks or so. So if you guys don't follow me on there, I do answer questions quite a bit on there. You guys can also ask me questions below that you might have, and I will happily answer them. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for watching, for being supportive along my journey. I have a couple new programs available on my website, www.sheaesthetics.com, including a shred program. So if you are trying to get lean and in shape and shredded for spring break, get abs for me, I will link that program below for you guys. And I would love to have you join the She Aesthetics community. But yeah, that's it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one. If there's anything you'd like to see or any questions you have, let me know below, and I will see y'all later. Bye.